And if we could stand and say the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. For our newly elected board member and two board members that are beginning new 3-year terms, I will have Mrs. Cole give you the oath of office.
We'll start with Mr. Zila. Okay. I do solemnly, repeat after me, I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member according to the best of my ability.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member according to the best of my ability.
Mrs. Emerson?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member according to the best of my ability.
Mrs. Junker-Davis?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member according to the best of my ability.
Carol, if I could have the roll call of the board members, please.
Mr. Hyde?
Here.
Mrs. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. Lamb?
Here.
Mrs. Junker-Davis?
Here.
Mr. Stabell?
Here.
Mrs. Emerson?
Here.
Mr. Zila?
Here.
Okay, obviously, this is our reorg meeting, and each and every year, I need to begin these meetings since we, technically do not have a board president. So right now, I will take nominations for board president for the 23-24 school year.
Nominate Justin Stabell.
Second.
Nomination for Justin. Any other nominations? All in favor for Justin Stabell to be our board president?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Stabell, after me, I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member according to the best of my ability.
I, Justin Stabell, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member or school board president according to the best of my ability.
I'll turn the
Thanks, sir.
meeting over to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. That being said, I'd like to take nomination for vice president.
Nominate Jackie Younger Davis.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Jackie.
Congratulations, Jackie. Congratulations.
Congrats, Jackie.
Are you ready to say the oath again for the vice president?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member, vice president, according to the best of my ability.
Thanks, Jackie. On to appointment of other officers. Be it resolved that items 4.2 to 4.5 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now, be it resolved that items 5.2 through 5.15 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Did you say 15 or
18, I think. I might have said 15. Pardon me. Let me say it again. Be it resolved that items 5.2 through 5.18 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Thanks, Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Designations. Item 6, be it resolved that item 6.2 through 6.4 be approved via consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Let's see here. 6.3. All right, I think I'm missing a page here. Do you guys have that? So I have designations 6.2 through 6.4, and then 7.
Authorizations.
Yeah, authorizations.
7.2 through 9.
Right here, where am I missing it?
Is there a page missing out of it?
I've got designations and then.
Would you like mine?
No authorizations. That's all right, I can do it. Yeah, I'm good. Be it resolved that items 7.2 through 7.8 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Let's see if I got this. All right, bonding of personnel. Be it resolved to authorize the insurance of a government entity crime policy for appointed individuals. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Here's my authorizations, way back here. Got it. Hold on a second. 7, 8.
You're on mine.
I'm on 9.
They
No,
all
you're
came
all
all
right.
at once, I don't know.
No, you're all right, Carla. I know it's.
You make 10 copies. I
You're
don't
just
know.
keeping me on my toes here.
Okay.
It's all right, like a butter knife.
I saw Matt messing with your pen.
I can't win with me. All right, this is.
The next one.
Swimsuit season, huh? All right. Okay, policies and regulations and procedures. Be it resolved that items 9.2 through 9.3 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, cooperative bidding. Be it resolved that items 10.2 through 10.4 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, 11, district committees on special education hearings. Be it resolved that items 11.2 through 11.5 be approved by a consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, Medicaid compliance officer. Be it resolved that the coordinator of student services be appointed to the position of Medicaid compliance officer for the 2023-2024 school year. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Maria. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Establishment of the district mileage reimbursement rate and non-resident tuition rate. Be it resolved that items 13.2 through 13.3 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Maria, we'll vote you on that one. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Will be no discussion.
All right, I don't think there's going to be, but I'm gonna keep asking. Opposed? All right, motion passes. School cafeteria prices. Be it resolved that the following school lunch prices be in effect for the 2023-2024 school year. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
There is just one discussion point on this one, right, John? We were saying that there's weird.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
currently, right now, we do not reach the threshold to have free breakfast and lunches in our district. I believe the threshold is 40%, and we're at about 36. Right now, we are anticipating and hoping that the threshold is lowered. And so in anticipation of that, Mary has put in our application for that. The worst they can do is obviously deny it because we don't qualify. But we're hoping over the next month or so, we get some final word on what that is. And obviously, we will do everything possible to try to bring, back the free breakfast and lunches to our students. But right now, we just don't qualify. We don't reach that level. So we'll continue to monitor that. So we have to approve these prices at least for now, and we're keeping them as they were last year. I know towards the end of last year, the breakfast and lunches were free due to a little excess funds in our cafeteria fund, which has brought that down. So we're just we're kind of back to normal until we hear otherwise.
Yeah, I just wanted that to be noted because I think it was very well received that they were free, and we can continue that in some way, shape, or form, outside of our own funding. We should take advantage of it.
Mhm.
So I just wanted.
Is there an easy to follow table for income guidelines for families versus the whole application process to realize that you do or don't qualify for a free lunch? 'Cause I
It's
think
on the
that's what plays into
application.
your percentage, right?
Right, no, it's on the application. If you need any guidance in interpreting it, I recommend that parents or give, a call in to Mary. She's in several days over the summer, so
Okay,
she can
so if
answer
there's
those
people out
questions,
there
but
that
it is on the
have
application.
questions, they can call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's where the information is produced and distributed, is right on that application, those guidelines. And it's updated annually, so once we get that application ready to go, it'll go out to the community.
I thought we got it in our newsletter. Didn't we get it in the Horizon?
Right,
Mhm.
yeah. It'll come in the calendar, and we'll send a parent square out with it. We're actually hoping this year to do an online application as well. We do have that, to pay for that service, so we're going to be implementing that this summer as well, because I think some people prefer to do it electronically if they
Sure.
can. Some do, some don't.
Any
but-
avenue, right, that people can have access to better.
Right, exactly. What if they can't print it at home, or they lost the application, or you just want to make it easy for them to be able to follow through on that.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 15, use of school facilities and transportation. Be it resolved that the following rates be approved for the use of school facilities and transportation by outside organizations for the 2023-2024 school year. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Does this go into effect starting in the fall? Is that what that means? So starting September
July to June.
2023?
Yeah, technically it starts now in July.
Okay.
That's kind of the fiscal year for school year is July to June.
Okay.
And like I had mentioned in my weekly update, very rarely do we charge people. I mean, if someone wants to be here on a Sunday evening, we may have to charge you just, because we have to staff it. And really, that's the cost. We don't make any money off of it. That's just the cost to have staff here. But for the most part, most of the evenings and, weekends, we do have staff here anyway. So very rarely do we charge.
Great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Other items. Item 16, be it resolved that item 16.2 through 16.5 be approved by consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, committee assignments. I'm trying to think here. Jackie, last year you did health and wellness. I did instructional technology, code of conduct. That was Pete, right? Maria, did you do health and wellness as well?
I did not. I did safety committee.
Safety committee.
Mhm.
Okay.
So no sword and everything?
Jen, if you want to take that, Jeff, it's the same question that I had earlier, is there no SOAR? And go ahead, if you don't mind explaining that.
We can have a SOAR, so in the end, I met with the admin, the AD, with our admin and AD regarding going into next school year. There weren't really any changes, concerns, issues, items to bring up. The one thing that we did discuss, Dave Carpino, who has been coaching the girls varsity soccer team, basically stepped down, just doesn't want to do it anymore. Elba had a qualified and viable candidate. We had one too, and in our discussions, our person said, hey, no problem, I can be the assistant. We're actually kind of looking at it as co-coaching because he knows our girls here. But the varsity coach that we did hire has coached varsity soccer before in a different district. He is an Elba teacher, so really we appointed him and agreed to that. And that's really all the changes, so we didn't really feel it necessary to have a meeting, because everything still is the same. We'll update the contract unless, the board members have a concern about, something moving forward. But we met, it was a great meeting, and like I said, there didn't seem to be any too many concerns with our shared teams or umbrella teams.
With that being said, I'd still like to have a connection from the board to the SOAR, with the SOAR. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that if something is to come up, it might be nice to have at least the ability to communicate to some of those members, right? And it's been something that we've, distinguished in the past. These are people that are going to represent us from the board, at this meeting. And if my memory serves me correct, Jeff, you've done it consistently over the last 10 years. Matt, you've also done it for at least the last 4 or 5 years. And Jackie, you also have done it for, I believe, the last 3 years. Yeah. So for continuity's sake, I don't know how anybody feels unless they have a real penchant to be on, I love the idea that we know what's happened in the past and we know what the agreement really represents. And moving forward, we'd like to keep it as close to that original agreement as we see fit in a way that's beneficial to us.
Mhm.
So would you mind having the designation of being on the SOAR committee?
Absolutely, and then if we don't ever meet, then we never meet, that's
And then
fine
that's-
too. But I think it would make sense to have one
Mhm.
versus, something come up and
And then
crap,
scramble.
we didn't put that committee together this year.
Right. Right, so Carla, I guess, if it's not within the agenda here, but if we can designate Jackie, Jeff Hyde, and Matt Land as representing us with the SOAR committee, that would be great.
I guess I'm just trying to process all that in my head. Was there some sort of discussion, John? Was it what? We've had this
So
committee for-
we actually jumped the gun on our end when we received word that Dave Carpino wasn't going to coach soccer. We had a candidate here that the board actually approved.
Yeah.
About 48 hours later, I received an email from Gretchen saying, hey, we have a viable candidate for varsity soccer, what about you? And I kind of said, yeah, we do. We actually just approved him, a couple days ago. And she said, well, let's sit down and chat about this. So Jeff and I went over to Elba, met with her and Mark Beeler, who I guess is stepping down as athletic director, and Tyler Winter was there. So it was the 5 of us, and we spoke about the position. They had a viable candidate. I believe he's the Alden varsity soccer coach, but he actually teaches over in Elba. So we discussed it, didn't really make any decisions, and we went back to talk to Dylan Phelps and said, what's your take on this? If you want to hold strong, we'll support you. Jeff said that he had no problem kind of stepping aside and saying, I'll be I'll be the assistant. You know, I know the girls, and so basically it was resolved there, and then that gentleman did take the head coaching position for the soccer. So everybody's happy, and it seemed to all work out.
I think that meeting would have been the meeting where we would broach the subject of the potential capital project that we might be doing here, the football stadium, the soccer stadium. I think our community residents need to know if half of those contests will still continue to be played in Alba when they come here to vote on whether or not we're putting in a turf soccer field, football field. So that discussion, I think, in some sort of formal way needs to be had. We need Alba to give us feedback on what they would do, because our community needs to know that when they vote on that.
Sure.
Capital project.
That's a good point, right? Because
That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah,
put
not
some
something that's
in our
really-
stadium and then go over
There's
to
a lot of questions out there.
Yeah. I can't think off the top of my head if what else we had. I mean, it always seems like there's something there, but numbers. I don't know. I guess with all of the programs, with softball and baseball and that, but you kind of wondered if the point was going to come when they would be asked to bring some programs back into the fold that previously were with us left. So who knows when those discussions would happen.
So you're saying to keep abreast with what are their current numbers for their athletic programs? Because isn't that what you traditionally get in the source?
That's certainly, yeah. That
Right,
would
if
give
I
everyone
remember,
a
I
nice
did
little
one,
update
yeah.
to hear what numbers look like for all the programs, and we could probably get that here. But those are complicated questions when, we have an umbrella team, then we don't have an umbrella team anymore, and potential for an umbrella team, we got a future or a shared team, so.
So there's a couple of things there, right? So it would be.
That one there is more for the future. That deal about whether or not they're gonna let us play all those contests here absolutely needs to be settled before we go to vote on that capital project.
I think that's a piece of information that, our community members, I know have asked me.
Yeah.
I-
Well, what is it now, Jeff? What is it now? How many games does the football, how is it split?
Football's 50-50, soccer is, I think, a couple games. There's not a percentage, I don't think, for soccer.
But even in football, aren't they odd numbers? So like one year you get
One year
4,
you
the
get
next year you get 3 or
Something
something like that.
right, yeah, you're guaranteed a certain amount, I think it does fluctuate from year to year.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we can just stay, ready to move on that if other issues pop up in the meeting.
All right. So, okay. Good point. So what, the three of you are willing to continue on there, and then we'll circle back. Any other, anything pique anybody's interest here? I hate to just say, well, because we were on this last year, this is what you have to do this year.
I'd take the safety committee.
You'd like to do the safety committee, and Pete, that was Maria last year, right? Or no? So Pete,
And we can have more than one.
yeah, Maria, would you still like to be on the safety
Yeah.
committee? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no more than 3 though, right? Okay,
Natalie, anything you'd like?
yeah.
Is health and wellness open?
Oh, sure, yeah, Jackie is
Yeah,
doing that.
I'd be absolutely willing to share that.
So
Awesome.
Natalie. Okay, and Jackie, you're thinking about,
Well, I think for
Yeah, so
consistency,
that
yeah,
there's somebody
at least
that-
that kind of helps, and then
Right.
I wouldn't mind trying something new.
okay, code of conduct. Any takers on the old code of conduct?
I have done it in the past, but with,
It meets just annually, right? One time it says in here?
is it one time? I think
says
the one
in
year
there.
I did it, I had to come a handful of times.
Did you?
And then the next year, like I found I didn't make a couple of them with a new job, so it was harder. If it was one time a year, I will absolutely do it, but if it's multiple during, like, whole days during the day, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that would be a tough one.
So I don't wanna commit to that and not be able to make it.
Can I take on 2? I would do code of conduct.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in a toss-up
If
between
Natalie's
that
gonna be
and
on it,
safety.
you put me on it, and then if
Yeah.
I don't show up, we still have somebody.
Okay,
Right,
that
that would
works
be-
too. Okay, good. I'll have better attendance for the Instructional Technology Committee. Don't tell the director. Okay, and then another thing that's not on here is the, and I'm gonna be very clear about this, the scholarship. Oh, it is here.
Oh, it is.
Yay, there it is. Yeah, the word scholarship should be emphasized here, not board member. I fell into that once. So, somebody that would be a representative to determine the scholarship.
I'll do that.
Okay. And then, Carla, I think there was a lot, there was lost in, somewhere in limbo. They communicated to me that I was on the scholarship committee for this, and it was really.
Was it Matt that reached out to you? or
Yeah,
was
so
it-
maybe if we can shoot, I mean, I can shoot out. Matt Peterson reached out to me, so maybe it's just because I did it for a couple of years, but I'll reach out to Matt and say that you're on it, or you're doing it this year. Don't worry, I got it, Carl, I can do it. Okay, I think that's everything, right? Is that, did I?
You got
Are
it, I
we,
think,
are
buddy.
you doing that committee for the capital
Facility-
project
project?
facilities?
Facilities
We don't have that
committee?
listed on there, didn't we do that
Oh,
one
yeah.
last year?
Yeah, we did do that last year.
I-
It's kind of an
I don't think it was a
adjunct.
board
Yeah,
appointment.
it was
I
more
don't
of an
think it
adjunct
was.
type
Okay.
Yeah.
put together.
The
I
facilities.
mean, we had a
committee-
facilities committee
Mhm.
to come up with the scope of this next project.
Informal. Should we
Yeah.
formalize it?
I almost like the idea because it continues with the vision moving forward, right? Like it's that 2030 vision that we said that we would have, and not to actually formally announce that means that we don't really have that vision still in
Maybe
place.
we can get 3 people on that might be a good
So
one.
create a facilities
Yes,
committee.
please, yes, yeah. Well, man, you're singing tonight here, look out.
I would be interested in joining that one.
Yep, okay, so Maria,
I'll do it.
Pete,
I'll do it.
and Matt.
Patiently.
Okay, cool.
Just so you know, we do have a meeting tomorrow with SEI to talk about the timeline of just what's gonna happen each month. And I believe that's at 2 o'clock tomorrow. I can forward on to the board,
2 o'clock?
basically what their agenda is, but we're meeting here tomorrow at 2 o'clock if you can be here.
Thank you.
Schedule's fine now.
I can add you to the invite.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's great. I don't think, do I vote, do we vote on this? Be it resolved that the members, yeah, hold these positions, I don't remember saying that, right? Jeff, do we, there's no,
I
think we're good. He was saying it just to make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think we
just-
actually
yeah.
vote on any of that.
it doesn't have to be any. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go to the closing of the meeting here. Be it resolved that the reorganizational meeting be adjourned at 6:28 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. All right, so I do think I've got to call the next meeting to order. So I'm going to call the regular meeting to order at 6:29. Carla, would you mind taking a roll call one more time, please?
I'm sorry, Jeff, Mr. Hyde.
You're okay.
I would let you go keep going down, sir.
I
Mr. Hyde.
I'm passing on the flag.
Mr. Hyde is still here.
Yeah.
Mrs. Thompson.
Same here.
Mr. Lamb.
I'm here.
Mrs. Junker Davis.
Present.
Mrs. Emerson.
Here.
Mr. Zelik.
Here.
Mr. Stabell.
I am here. There are no presentations tonight. I will go on to the approval of minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes of the June 13th, 2023 regular meeting be approved. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I don't believe, Carla, there's any visitors requests. And
No.
If they are, they're awful quiet. Nice looking crowd we have over here. Be it resolved that after an audit of the bills, payment of the warrants and internal claims, audit reports be approved. Can I get a motion?
So
Motion.
moved.
Second, Pete.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, on to that second reading. Okay, this is.
Yeah, per the board's recommendation, we changed, I believe, 3 spots in the wording to provide us a little flexibility with the requirements, and I believe those are noted, I believe, in purple. There were concerns with the words, will and must, and we decided to change the wording in that
That's on.
to encourage, right?
6 to.
Page 5 under fundraising, and page 6.
There weren't substantial changes to this, though.
Correct, and it is only your second reading.
I feel better about that language.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't lock us in, should someone wanna make a big deal out of something at some point.
Well, I think this is a substantial upgrade from the previous policy with like food incentives and things like that for performance. Like that was very antiquated and an interesting way to motivate students.
Make a motion to
Yeah.
approve policy 5661 as written.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Did we miss 5.2, the treasurer's report? The warrants and then treasurer's reports is not.
Oh, I did, Carla. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yep. Oh, boy. Okay, yep, I'm gonna rewind here a little bit. I did miss that. Be it resolved that the treasurer's, good catch, treasurer's reports for May 2023 be approved. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Carla. Christine, anything for us tonight?
And I don't have anything for you.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you.
Saving my voice for budget time.
Okay. All right. John?
Yeah, just to update the board again, we are meeting with SEI tomorrow to kind of outline and somewhat finalize the timeline for our next capital project and to confirm the scope of the work that will be contained in this next project based on our BCS items, building condition survey items. We are anticipating that the vote will be the first or second week in November. It'll definitely be before Thanksgiving. We're currently looking at, I believe, November 8th or 9th. I think it's a Thursday. Obviously with the board's approval, we probably would like to open it up, the voting hours. Usually the district budget vote is from, noon to 8 or whatever. I think we should have it where people dropping off students in the morning can vote. If they can't get here at night, I think having it open from, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. might bring out more people. Because, again, the projection is we will have 2 propositions on there. One would be for the capital project work that would be done inside the buildings here. That really would be, tax neutral, no tax impact. And then there is a proposition out there from the facilities committee that we move forward and put out to vote, building a new football stadium, multi-purpose stadium, soccer 8-lane track, all of that. And at this point, we're still crunching numbers on what that tax impact would be, but certainly want to have the community and the voters be able to come out and approve or disapprove of that if there is a need to collect extra taxes for that project. So, but we're going to finalize that come August, September. We will have a budget, or not a budget, capital project newsletter. We'll have open forums. We'll get this information out. And, once we crunch the numbers and finalize everything, we'll obviously get that out to our communities and, have open discussions and move move forward with that. But I'm assuming that we'll have a vote somewhere in November, based on the paperwork that needs to be done with the state. I will be on vacation from July 14th through the 21st, just to let the board know. I will also not be giving you a weekly update. Obviously, we have this meeting tonight. I am working tomorrow, but I'll be taking a personal day on Friday. So unless there's anything major, I will not provide the board a weekly update this Friday. And it does seem like our retreat is set for Thursday, 8/17, August 17th, from 5 to 8. Everybody seemed to have that date work. And I'll set the agenda, work with the school board's representative on the focus that you guys want to discuss. And I'll provide dinner and we'll have a good evening.
Prime rib.
Sure. And that's all I have. It's quiet without the students and the teachers here, so.
Well, Rob, that leaves us with you, my friend, and updates from the technology department.
Sure. We're looking at some possible AV projects coming up, using the 100K project kind of technique if we can. The biggest one would be in the auditorium here where we don't have a long throw projector. So have the projector mounted underneath where the projection booth is there, with a panel that can be operated up front. So no longer would we have to carry that card out there and tripping hazard with cords and stuff like that. So it's more of a professional look. It'll be a 4K screen, so it'll be wider, it'll be taller, it'll be more high resolution. So from a visual standpoint and from a safety standpoint, it'll be a big improvement there. Besides that, doing a lot of stuff now with Chromebooks. All pre-K through 6th grade is in my office right now. I go through them one by one, look for keyboards, damages, things like that. Glad to say that not as many damaged units as we used to have. I think during COVID times, maybe they went home more often or they were at home more often, but thankfully not. Our breakage rate is not like it used to be. Couple that with the fact that now we do our own self-insurance program. So instead of it being $30 or $40 or $50 going to a third-party company who makes a profit off that, we now make it only $20. No profit made off of it. The goal is to just break even. And I would say, based on the numbers last year, we don't have to change that number to go any higher. In fact, I think today you may have seen on Parents Square, I scheduled it so that our open enrollment is no longer the 130-day 1 month. It's now July, August, and September. So now we went from a 1 month to a 3 month, wider period of time, where people could buy that insurance and lower it down to only $20 coverage. If someone, again, insurance is optional, if they don't do it, they just run the risk of paying the copay, as we call it, of $50 for the first breakage. So you see $50 if you chance it, or $20 you don't have to worry about it. It kind of gives that peace of mind for people to do that. So we'll continue to do it self-funded, and we'll run it through Parent Square so people can pay electronically through Parent Square, as well as cash or check professionally too. Other than that, the usual summer waiting for our technology stuff to come in is happening. The ViewSonic panels like that one there, as I mentioned before, we're replacing half the fleet this coming year, or half the fleet the following year. So probably around October, November time, we'll be having some of those available on Auctions International if people are interested in them. But all the other parts, the speakers, the webcam, the mouse, keyboard, everything's all reusable. So it has become a very good digital chalkboard, whiteboard, if you will, concept for us. That's about it.
You mentioned the video for the auditorium. Makes me think of the sound system for the auditorium. Did we follow up a discussion on that, Justin? Students did a great performance, but it seemed like at times their sound system let us down a bit.
Which event? Are we talking musical?
Yeah.
Right after the musical was over with, we had UNS Services come out and do a tuning. So now, if you could compare it to another event, you should hear a difference, especially when one person talks with the microphone. It's not a reverberating effect like it was. They spent a good 4 or 5 hours of just tuning the system, as well as putting in an uninterrupted power supply in there so that if power does get cut out, it doesn't damage any equipment. We had to replace the sequencer, which powers things on and off in sequence, not all at once, because that was broken, and a new wireless mic setup in there too. So there was a good amount of project work done right after the musical. In fact, they were ready to pull the trigger before the musical.
Right, the timing.
Randy was saying, no, let's not. We've dealt with it July, January, February, March. Let's just keep it. So right when it was over with, we did
Because I think there's a conflict with actually the setup of the stage for the musical and then their ability to then adjust the system based on the setup of what was
Yeah, you can
going on.
only go so high until you start getting feedback.
Correct, and then so they waited and they came back and did it afterwards. I don't think it was just for the musical that we were having issues, I think there was
Concerts as well.
concerts as well, where we would all sit in there and say, wow, there's a tremendous amount of feedback going on with the mic. I think maybe JC at one point, there was where he was standing or positioned, there was so much feedback at one of the, when he did the introductions for one of the concerts, we all said, oh my God, what is going on here?
Okay, that's good, glad to hear. Most recently, it's improved.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as best as it can to give the kids the opportunity to shine with the efforts that they put in, because that's definitely something that's,
There's actually like two sound systems in it. There's one from the back of the stage with a big mixer, and one from the front of the stage, in the back. So getting those two to work together is one of the things they worked on in March to make that better. And then within the system, there'll be a digital panel, so that a user that comes in now to present, all they have to know is this is the HDMI port, and this is the volume control, and this is to put the screen up and down. They don't have to have someone like me doing all the technical work then, so.
well, otherwise you've got to roll your cart down, hook everything up,
Yes.
and then have it projected there.
And then where do you want to hook your laptop up? In the front of the stage or the back where the sound booth is? Like, there's choices there. So we're going to make it so it can be more, well, it isn't user friendly. So it is user friendly. So the average person can walk in and know where to plug in and what to press.
Right. All right, anything else for Rob? Thanks, Rob. On to new business, be it resolved that items 8.2 through 8.5 be approved by consent agenda.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Carl, do you see any communications tonight?
There.
Okay, I don't think we have any need for discussion or roundtable. On to personnel. Be it resolved that items 11.2 through 11.6 be approved by consent agenda. Get a motion?
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
We'll go with Natalie on that one. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. 11.7, I think is our next one that we're going to. Appointment of our school psychologist. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve 4-year probationary appointment of Summer Forness. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I know she's not here, but I received a kind letter from her. I don't know if anybody else on the board received the letter as well. But it was very well written for appreciation of being able to continue her services here, and we'd like to extend that as well. It's, I think she's a great school psychologist, and I hope to see her here for many years to come. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, 11A, appointment of 1211 special education teacher. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves Amanda Long to a 4-year probationary position of 1211 special education teacher, effective September 1st, 2023 through September 1st, 2027. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second. Pete.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Amanda. I don't really think we have a need to have closing remarks tonight. If that's okay, I'm sure we'll have some remarks in executive session that we can share with each other. So I would like to be it resolved the regular meeting of the Board of Education be adjourned at 6:44. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Be it resolved that the Board of Education will enter executive session at 6:45 PM for the purposes of discussing a personnel matter. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so that was Maria, got the first, and I got the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Wow, 2 meetings in 40.